Little did I know. From shadows to light, my story.
Chapter 1. From Shadows to First Light. Born into chaos and love in Cohoes, David, the youngest of the Liddle triplets, learns early that memory, shame, class, faith, music, and masculinity will tug him in different directions. Yet the pull toward gentleness and purpose keeps showing through. A new experience, from hymns to hypocrisy. The time I reached third grade, the spiritual landscape of our family began to shift. My mother, and by extension my father, grew discontent with the long weekly drive to Guilderland Baptist Church. In true fashion, Mom took matters into her own hands. She decided we'd start our own congregation, right in our living room. Thus began the First Baptist Church of Cohoes. The decision drew me in more deeply than I had ever been involved before. Suddenly, church wasn't just a Sunday obligation. It was woven into the very fabric of our home. My siblings and I were enlisted to help, passing out hymnals, arranging folding chairs, singing songs, and even reading scripture aloud. We were expected to invite friends and neighbors, to be young emissaries of this new faith effort. My older brothers, however, opted out. That was also the year my brother Bill joined the Army. Sharon, who once took me to St. Marie Catholic Church for Mass, had moved into her own apartment. Jim went to Mass at St. Agnes, thereby sidestepping the full immersion into our mother's evangelical transformation. Dad, always quiet in his convictions, remained on the sidelines. Nana came along once the church moved from our house to an old Victorian building on Main Street, where a pastor named Reverend Alstead took the pulpit. Little did I know how deeply Reverend Alstead would influence the culture of our new church. He embodied everything one might expect from a hardline Baptist preacher. Rigid, intense, and firmly entrenched in dogma. Under his guidance and empowered by her sobriety and new spiritual identity, Mom's sense of control at home only deepened. If I'd ever felt stifled before, this was something more, something tighter, heavier. I remember inviting our neighbors, the Murray family, to church a few times. Though they were always kind, I could sense their hesitation. Whether spoken or not, it felt like they saw through some of the show, perhaps sensing the dissonance between humility and self-righteousness. My mother had a certain air about her, and whether intentional or not, it gave off the impression that others, especially working-class families like the Murrays, weren't quite good enough. Not for her, and not for her God. I can't say what my mother was like before her conversion in 1970. I only knew the woman who had since become deeply devout, sober, and stricter than ever. As her spiritual intensity increased, so too did the feeling that I was living two lives. One that was acceptable to her and her interpretation of God, and another that felt more real to me, shaped by my neighborhood friends, public school, my siblings, and the rhythms of everyday life. Nana, beloved and ever-present, was not immune to the new rules. One Sunday, she arrived in her usual pantsuit, something that had always seemed dignified and appropriate. But that day, in front of the entire congregation, Reverend Alstead confronted her, asking her to leave for wearing something deemed unworthy of the sanctuary. I'll never forget how small and humiliated she looked. After that, Mom found us a new church, one that aligned more closely with her evolving expectations. That's how we ended up at Loudonville Community Church, nestled in one of Albany County's wealthiest neighborhoods. It was filled with all the right kinds of people, polished, connected, and seemingly perfect. And though I didn't yet have the words for it, I remember feeling that I was being swept further and further from the warmth of authenticity into something colder and far more performative. Thank you for spending this time with me, the Pussycat Wizard. These moments we share, whether in shadows or in light, are threads in a much larger story, one I'm honored to tell with you beside me. As always, the journey continues. The next chapter subsection is waiting, and I'd be honored if you'd walk with me a little further down this road. Until then, keep the wonder alive, and I'll see you in the next episode of Little Did I Know.
If it's a moment you're after, let's give this a shot. 3 quick breaths in through the nose, believe it or not, it will render you happy in the sunshine of the day. I love living in Bisbee, and no, I am not gay. The flowers do smell so wonderful in spring. I sit on my porch, a throne for a king. My libido is for magic, man or woman, it's not. So celibacy, I'm after magic mushrooms and pot. It's my life, I've chosen, like it or not. Bullfrogs and butterflies, Aunt Ruth, she had wrote, if music's like living, then I love every note. Bullfrogs and butterflies and plenty of pot. In the streets of Cohoes, where I call my home, with Sharon, Debbie, Doreen, James, and William, we all roam. From the block to the park, we never walked alone. Through thick and thin, siblings forever tightly sewn. Playing ball in the playground under the summer sun, running through the alleys, feeling free and young where the Hudson River flows. We found our fun. Cohoes, the small town where childhood begun. I sit on my porch, a throne for a king. My libido is for magic, man or woman, it's not. So celibacy, I'm after magic mushrooms and pot. It's my life, I have chosen, like it or not. Bullfrogs and butterflies, Aunt Ruth, she had wrote, if music's like living,